Rachael Ray Double R doing some double M's. Woo! Food that you can make so quick it will free you up for more free time in your life. Look at that crispy skin. Delish. Ooh, that smells amazing. Boom! Nailed it! Hey guys, Double R here again. Today's super fun because I'm making something that makes everyone smile before they even hear the recipe. Tomato soup and grilled cheese. We're gonna up the game on the flavor. In the grilled cheese, we're gonna make a spicy paste with a little jalapeno and some cilantro and parsley and some shallot. We're gonna mix it with some bitter greens, super sharp cheddar, and some really good earthy dark bread, right? So a really good whole grain bread. The tomato soup, we're gonna roast cauliflower, just trimmed of the really tough outer leaves. So I have the oven preheating, like 450, and we're gonna put this onto a sheet pan, roast it with some spices. In this other pot, we're literally gonna make super simple tomato soup. Like literally. We're gonna chop up some onions, throw it in this pot, add a little bit of grated garlic, add some vegetable or chicken stock, and a can of tomatoes, and a couple of cups of tomato sauce or passata. We'll talk about what that means later. And then we're gonna roll deep. We're gonna make it creamy tomato soup with no cream. We're going to add tahini paste and our roasted cauliflower. And then we're going to bring up the heat a little bit for the grown-ups with harissa paste. Gotta get to work here. So you can go about this in two ways. You can literally just have at this and rip it apart, okay? What I will tell you is it's not just the cute little pretty fluffy cloud-looking stuff on the outside. This is food and it's delicious. So put your knife to it or your hands to it. However you feel most comfortable. I feel most comfortable with a knife. So I slice. It's gonna get literally ground with an immersion blender. And this is gonna go into the tomato soup. It's tomato cauliflower soup. So we're gonna hack this guy up or break him up with your hands into florets, beta carotene, all kinds of good minerals and vitamins. Eating food with color and cruciferous vegetables are also anti-carcinogenic. Super cool. So we're gonna take, nope, wrong one. Olive oil, non-aerosol cooking spray. Give it a layer. And then we're gonna take this flavorful trio of ground ginger, a little bit, about a teaspoon. Cumin, I'm gonna go stronger, 2 teaspoons. That's smoky and earthy, 2 teaspoons of that. And then coriander's nice and bright too, about a teaspoon of him. Then a reasonable amount, seasoning from above so you can see where it's going, of salt and pepper. And into the oven she roasts. Boom. Now, we're going to take a sweet onion. Maui onions are always sweet. Vidalias happen to be in season right now as we're filming this. I have that. Any mild onion. The onions we're hoping will do the job here all on their own. Guess what I'm not doing? Caring about how fine I'm chopping this. Guess why? Because we're going to put an immersion blender in it and zhuzh the whole thing up in the end. So all we have to do is cut across. Turn it sideways and do it all over again. And there is no, like, wow, that has to be perfect or all of uniform size here. Don't waste your time. So we're going to take a handful of cilantro. You know what you don't care about with cilantro? The stems. They're very tender, and I don't care if I grind them. And we're gonna add kind of an equal amount of parsley. Care more about the parsley stems. So you put a combo of parsley and cilantro in the doodad into your food processor. You add the juice of a lime. And I started with 2 scallions in there and just ripped up 2 with my bare hands and put them in the food processor. So, as we've discussed many times, anytime we cook with heat, meaning a fresh chili, most of the heat lives in the middle. So if you want to dial that heat back, cut the middle out. Cut out the middleman, literally. Haha. Garlic. A little bit of garlic in there, 1 clove. Now this paste we're gonna put on the inside of our grilled cheese sandwiches. Honey, can you grab this base, get it out of here for me? I'm just gonna scoop all this together and put it in a tiny dish. It'll save us a lot of room.
It smells quite verdant.
Every time I use cilantro, John tries to prove to the world that he did in fact take the SATs. And he uses the word verdant. See you in a couple. When you're ready, I'm ready. Okay, let's see if this works. Well, there's a little bit of a sizzle. Little salt to draw the liquid out of the sweet onion. Normally, we wait to add garlic a little later in a dish because we don't want it to bitter or brown. It's not gonna happen in here. It's cooking too slowly and over too low a heat. We're fine. This is a panini press. That's the method we're gonna use to make our grilled cheeses today. Any sourdough or whole grain bread is gonna have a really rich flavor. So, just like in a pan, we don't want this on as high as it goes, 500 degrees, 480. All right, I hear you. You want it to be in that middle zone so that the bread can toast. You want the cheese to actually melt. The onion's already turning like really mushy and moving along much faster. Delightful. For the tomato soup, I'm adding 2 tablespoons if you like things spicy, 1 tablespoon if you rarely cook with harissa paste, chili paste. And we're gonna stir into our sweet onions. John is hopping mad at me because he wants to make that cocktail. But I'm just gonna show you guys, I'm gonna add the tomato products, so 2 cups of sauce or passata. Passata is raw, ground tomato. Tomato sauce is cooked tomato. Be careful, because sometimes they add sugar, so if you watch that, just look at the label. Passata is just literally pureed raw tomato. And we're going to use fire-roasted tomato to mirror the smokiness of harissa. Harissa tastes smoky because it's got ground dried chilies in it. So, in we go. We'll add more stuff later. Give that a rinse in a minute. Go ahead, honey.
So, to go along with your spicy tomato soup, I'm making
spicy grilled cheese.
Spicy grilled cheese. I'm making not only a dirty martini, but a spicy dirty martini. And I'm gonna make it in the classic martini style, which is a little more, it's got gin and a little more vermouth than people are used to. So very importantly, I chill down all my stuff beforehand, just put ice in there.
Didn't that sound dirty to you?
Chill down my stuff, because you want a martini to be ice cold. So I'm gonna use 2 parts, now take a deep breath and stay with me here, 2 parts gin to 1 part vermouth.
Wait, forgot to tell everybody I'm also adding stock, vegetable or chicken. Remember, I showed you earlier. Vegetable chicken to the tomato, that's all.
I know there's schools of thought, don't add vermouth at all, add a little tiny bit of vermouth. open the bottle near the martini, you know, that kind of stuff. But a classic.
Open the bottle near the martini?
Yeah, that's like people like take the bottle open and wave it over the drink.
Wow.
And that's enough vermouth. But a classic martini has, and this is like pre-prohibition martinis, had a lot more vermouth than today's martinis do. And then they also had orange bitters, believe it or not, was a classic ingredient in a
I
martini.
am learning so much. I didn't know any of this stuff, and I've
Yeah.
watched every James Bond movie there is.
Well, he has a vodka martini, and he shakes it, doesn't stir it. That's a whole nother
And
thing.
that's a whole other argument that John could go on for like 2 hours about, I'm sure.
So we're gonna add a bunch of this brine. We got these olives that are stuffed with hot peppers. So that's what's gonna make it obviously spicy and dirty. No offense to Mr. James Bond, but you gotta stir martini because you don't want it to be all like foamy and bubbly, and you want it to
And
be
you don't
nice.
want to bruise the liquor, right?
You want it to be, yeah, you want it to be nice and crystal clear. A good rule of thumb is that if you have all clear ingredients in your cocktail, you should stir it. Ooh, that smells nice and briny.
Wow, I can really smell that literally from, what am I, 3.5 feet away? Wow.
And then we garnish with our little dragon tail things.
These are amazing in Bloody Marys. John puts them in on Sunday brunch Bloody Marys, the Dragon Tails.
Voila.
Didn't Maria, my sister, actually find those for us?
She did. She got them at the.
She gave them to us the first time, my
supermarket.
sister.
Yeah,
Can I have one, or
You can have one.
are you saving that for the fellas?
I don't know. I wanted them to get a nice shot of them. Here, cheers.
Cheers. I hate drinking out of nice glasses. That's why I always drink out of like flat glasses.
Man.
I'm very scared when I get near anything with a stem. I'm just too goofy.
That is both dirty and spicy.
Delicious. Actually, I think it's quite smooth. We'll be right back.
Speeding.
Whenever you're ready.
Oh, we're beautiful. We're perfect. Look at that. Golden, I mean, literally perfect. I love it when that happens. It's just fun. So we're gonna take our roast cauliflower and literally drop it in the pot. Now, I have to make an exception here for you guys, okay? I am making this in a shallower pot than I would in real life because I wanted you to be able to see this and it not be buried in literally a black hole of a really large cast iron. But you should use a deeper pot. Go for like 8 quart. This is like pushing it with 5. It's actually a risotto pot is how I designed it. This is one of my pots. I love the pot. Sorry, buddy, I'm not picking on you. That is literally boiling. And I'm gonna turn that down now because all we're gonna do is keep that warm. But I'm literally pulling it off the heat so that that original activity that's going on there calms a bit. We're gonna push it right back on the heat when we're done. When we use immersion blenders, check that it's working after you plug it in, before you put it in the pot. Never, ever, ever put this into the pot on an angle. You will hurt yourself, sincerely. You need to keep it low to the ground and do a few little tests. Make sure you're good. You can pick it a little bit up off the bottom as you start to work. But you're trying to work on the floor of the pan, not the top of the pan. Honey, will you open this for me, the tahini? Give it a shake and open it. And to make this soup creamy, we're not using cream at all. We're using ground sesame. We're using tahini. If you love hummus, you'll love this soup. We're using tahini paste. About 3/4 cup goes into this. Just eyeball it. And that's what's going to give it a creamy and a nutty ridiculously delicious finish. So we have all of the nutrients of the cauliflower. We have that sweetness of the tomato and smokiness because we used fire roast. It's really one-stop shopping. But it is decidedly not the good old tomato soup you used to get as a child, right? That's why I say this is more of a grown-up tomato soup. Don't assume just because I'm making a joke and being a bit flip about this that your kids wouldn't like this. You know, if they're not infants, give them a little try. You don't know. And especially if they're picky vegetable eaters, this is a brilliant lesson. If you hide cauliflower, something as innocuous as a white cruciferous vegetable, if you hide cauliflower into a soup or a pasta sauce, they don't know it's there until after they ate it. And the next time you put the dish on the table, don't bring up the cauliflower, just put the dish on the table. Says the lady who has a dog, not a kid. You just get the bowls empty. Okay, hey, I'm ready.
And go ahead, Rachel.
So now we're going to divide our paste that we made out of cilantro, lime, parsley, a little bit of garlic. We're gonna divide that crazy paste up. And I made this because of my memories of working for years in Chelsea Market and Amy's Bread, which also has great bread, of course. They used to make these kooky grilled cheese sandwiches. They probably still do, I don't know. And they put some sort of spicy paste on them. And I'm like, I think they actually used harissa. They didn't use a fresh paste. But I thought, oh, harissa soup, I'll do a spicy thing on there. And also, Bombay-style grilled cheese, John and I love, and we make it any day we're having Indian for dinner. And that is an herb chili lime paste that goes on an all-vegetable boiled potato with garam masala. Sliced boiled potatoes with garam masala. And all these vegetables smashed into a grilled cheese with an herb paste. And I'm just like, oh, wow. So it was memories of harissa paste grilled cheeses from Chelsea Market many, many years ago. And probably, again, you should go check still today. I don't know. And Bombay-style grilled cheese. There's no harissa in this. There's harissa in our soup. But you see where my head was going. So now we're gonna take super sharp. You need a strong slice of cheese here. Super sharp cheddar. Okay, so we got our cheesy goodness going on. Then we're gonna put some spicy greens. This is a little watercress, like literally little watercress. Haha. You can use arugula, upland cress, straight up watercress. I just like the bitter greens because they balance out the heat and the strength of the cheese. And then because we're using a press, we don't have to worry about buttering the one side of the bread and all that falderall and stuff. All we gotta do is make sandwiches with this really flavorful whole grain bread. Put it on our press. Let's go like that. And press.
Hot soup and cold martini.
You're a happy man. Okay, we're there. I mean, grown-up tomato soup and grilled cheese heaven. Honey, bring over your cocktail. Show everybody how beautiful that is. Remind them. So we have our gorgeous whole grain bread, super sharp cheddar, homemade spicy chili and herb paste, grilled cheese sandwiches, oozy goozy. Look at that oozy gooziness. Oozy goozy all over the place. Yum. Wow. Honey, not in front of where I'm gonna put the soup pot. What are you doing? I meant come join me behind the counter and drink your drink.
Oh.
Oh, that's a heavy baby. And then we have our tahini, roasted cauliflower, tomato soup. That is a hot pot. No cream, that's tahini, and all of that great flavor. Let me put this in the foreground so you guys can see them all better. They're so cute. Look at those, huh? So cheers and enjoy your tomato soup and grilled cheese.
Nice tahini and nice tahini.